I'm going to call the May 20th meeting to order at 7:04. We've got Jimmy Latham, Derek Johnson, and Justin McElprain here. Yeah, obviously, they're not going to have any public comment. So, do you have anything to report? No. Okay, we've got one line item today. It's discussion and possible action.
Don't we need to approve the minutes from last
Oh,
meeting?
I need to approve the minutes from the April 4th meeting.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And we've got, like I said, we've got one line item for discussion and possible action for J. Mealy. It's a combination split, parcel numbers 601-04-00400 and parcel 601-04-011B. And we are going to call him on the phone because he's not able to be here to see what his plans are. So Derek, if you want to honor that.
Sure. Yeah, I can call. Here's his phone. Let's see here.
Your call has been forwarded to an...
Okay. Well, didn't.
We have one number.
That's it. As far as I can see, let me look. Yep. You see his letter here that he wrote at the end of that one? It's near the end. It's like second to last page.
I did read through.
What his letter that he wrote.
Is that just the functionality of it?
I guess it just says, request that you grant approval for the parcel boundary adjustment.
No, it did the same thing it's been doing to me. I'm calling you on my cell phone. So we're gonna try to call you again at this number. If it doesn't work, we'll just use my cell phone, okay?
Did you answer or no?
Yeah.
Oh.
One way in.
Sure. Well, that's right, number should work. That was weird.
Okay, we can't get through to you on our office phone, same problem I was having, we're just gonna use my speakerphone, can you hear us?
Okay, I hear you.
Hey Jay, how are you this evening?
Good. Sorry for the problems with our phones. I don't know what it is.
Oh, no problem. No problem. We'll make it work. We just had a few questions on what are your end plans that you're planning on doing with the property?
Say that one more time, I'm sorry.
What are your plans on with that you're wanting to do with the property?
You know, at this stage, nothing really. I may try to do something again with the asphalt storage. And there, you know, I don't have any immediate plans, but just trying to segregate those two areas into kind of the functional differences, because the stuff not around the tanks, you know, we could do something with at some point. The tanks are going to be pretty well limited to what we can do on the asphalt storage side.
Right. Yeah, and the only reason we're asking is because the way you're cutting it up, the property, you know, it's, if you ever did decide to sell it, we would just be going through this again, you know, to have someone square it back up, but that's, I mean, it's completely fine.
Well, I think it would be likely, if I did sell it, I would end up selling the tanks to one party and the other side to another party if I ended up selling it. But that's kind of why I wanted to do this, because there's two completely separate pieces or separate operations that might occur there.
Okay. And another question I had, so on the narrowest point between the two parcels, like where where that tank comes out, and you got like a rounded corner that goes around that tank, what is the
Yes.
distance between that and your property line? Do you know that?
Are you talking about on the east side? Excuse me, on the north side? I'm sorry.
Yes, on the north side.
I'm not really sure what that distance is, but it's several, I'd say over 30 or 40 feet, because if you look, the building on the farthest north part is, I think the building is 30 feet across.
Right, so the problem with that is that's gonna have to be wide enough for an easement, as you're cutting them up into two separate pieces of property like that. So
Right.
the one would have to have enough easement space to, you know, access the back lot, more or
Yeah,
less.
it definitely has enough to get through there. In fact, there's two separate gates. The gate on the south part, outlined in yellow, is plenty big enough to get through, and the gate, as you see on the northwest corner, is a full double vehicle gate, so that there's enough room, plenty of room to get access to all of the property.
Right, yeah, but that, I mean, even with the two gates, you still have that narrow spot between the two pieces of property, you know what I mean?
You're talking about that part kind of at the narrowest point
Yes.
on the north and the most western of the older parcel. There is plenty of room to get access in to that back piece of property through that narrow section. It's probably, well, maybe I can tell from this. I can't tell from the.
And more or less, it would have to be enough room for a legal easement, so it would have to be,
What is legal easement?
I believe, I was trying to look it up, it's over 60.
I think it's 60 foot.
60 foot?
Yeah,
think
last,
so.
when we were going over.
I mean, we'll have to determine that before we can proceed with anything really on it.
And what is the legal easement requirement?
Don't quote me, but I believe it's 60 foot. We're trying to look in the code book right now.
Okay.
Do you have Jamie, do you have a fast way to pull that up? Can you pull that up on your,
Well, that's all one piece of property. Does that even need to be an easement?
yeah, because this is a separate piece.
I know, but right there, that's all one piece.
Yeah, but it would have to be enough easement to get through there, I would assume.
Well, there's not even, I mean, with the current property line, there is no easement between the two parcels.
Yeah, connecting the two.
Oh,
You know, that is interesting, like you're saying, it's not like it's having access to the easement in the back, cause it's all, or to the other parcel in the back, since
all
the
one
parcel is at the front, then that's actually the guy's private, it doesn't
Private
really.
drive, yeah.
Private drive, which could probably be less than the easement, as long as it meets the setbacks, which is kinda weird.
Yeah, but,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like between
With
this
the
tank and the
tanks, yeah.
setback of the property, is the tank like a building? Would it need, you know, that's what's interesting about this, I don't.
I know between that shop and that fence, there's at least a good 30 feet. Between right there and there.
Right.
So that building, did you say that building is 30 by 40? Is that what that building is?
I
the north?
think that's what it, don't quote me on that.
Okay.
Because I don't have the dimensions, but it's certainly the point between the narrowest point of new parcel 004-D is certainly wider than the width of the building.
Gotcha. That'd be my only thing, is if it was to restrict access in the back, then it would need
Yeah,
to get a
see, and
census.
like, so like he's saying, if he sells this parcel to someone else and then this parcel, then this would need to be a legal easement through there.
Well, we're getting rid of that one parcel. So that's all gonna be one all through
So
here.
it's no longer split here.
No.
It's
so
gonna
that one's
combine
leaving,
this.
That whole thing's combined, and then just the tanks are combined.
So as long as you can get to here,
Yeah,
then that would be the easement now. I know it sounds
Yeah.
a little funky, but that's how I would.
yeah, I don't think it needs to be between,
But if you were to split this
But
in the
like,
future,
if they were to
then
bring
you couldn't.
utilities, say someone wants
Yeah.
to put, it needs to
Back
be
here.
enough room for a utility easement, you know
Yep.
what I mean?
which I'm pretty sure is 60
Yeah, so if
foot.
they wanna build, say, a still building back here or whatever they wanna
Mhm.
do, they'll have to bring power and water through there, which it probably already has, but, you know, if,
And you'd need that easement,
for
Which would-
utilities,
which is generally 60 feet.
I believe so,
Yeah,
60 or
I think all
90.
roads in Fredonia have to have 60 feet across.
I wonder if we need to do a little bit more research on this to make sure that, we're all,
And if you could get us the measurements for that piece between the tanks and the narrowest spot.
Okay, I could definitely do that. I'll get with Iron Rock and have them.
Okay,
think about that.
and I can call Chris also and,
But it really is a little confusing, since that back parcel doesn't have an easement.
Right.
There's no real access.
right, and that was obviously done back in the day, so things were a little bit different. And we wanna make it easiest for you if you ever do decide to do something with where you don't have to run into problems. And then we don't, obviously don't wanna run into problems either.
Right, makes sense.
So what I'm gonna make a motion to table this until we get that information back.
And could you get me, after you guys break up, tell me what the legal easement width needs to be?
Yes, we'll get in the code book and find all that for you.
The 60 feet sounds like an awful lot to me, but if we need to make sure I've got a lot of flexibility, obviously, since I own the whole thing, or
Right.
we own the whole thing.
Right,
So,
right.
we can manage that if we need to. Let's just find out what we need to do and then maybe deal with that way.
Okay, sounds great. That's what we needed.
And so if we're tabling it, what is that a way to approve this subject to getting that, or tell me
So
what we
we're
need
just,
to do?
I'm gonna make a motion to table it, and that, all that does is gives you time to get all your information in line, us to study it more, and then, you know, we can, if it becomes, a thing that you want done right away, we can possibly put a meeting together and get that done before next month.
Okay, great. Well, I'll look back to hear back from Jamie on what it needs to be, and then I'll get to her what it actually is.
Okay. Sounds great.
All right, well, I appreciate the help.
Thanks, Jake.
All right, take care.
Bye. So I'm going to make a motion to table the, possible action for J. Mealy combination split until we get more information on distances and more or less distances. So it would be parcel number 601-04-00400 and 601-04-011B.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
I call the May 20th meeting to adjourn at 7:22.